When billionaire Elon Musk unexpectedly whisks his children away on a cryptic journey to Africa, they have no inkling of what lies ahead. Rather than luxurious resorts or guided tours, they find themselves in remote villages where survival hinges on the absence of electricity and clean water. For Elon's inquisitive son, X, the trip deepens into a mystery as he uncovers his father's hidden secrets, a weathered photograph, hushed phone calls, and a locked metal case. Traveling from one settlement to another, X and his siblings witness both harrowing struggles and astonishing transformations. Yet, two questions haunt them throughout: what grave mistake is their father seeking to atone for? And how will confronting the truth about their privileged existence alter them forever? Stay tuned until the end to uncover the answers. X gazed out of his bedroom window, watching the sunset paint the sky in hues of orange and violet. Beside him, his robotic dog Spot beeped and chattered, though X barely registered it. School had ended for the summer, and already boredom had set in. What good was having a billionaire father if summer still felt dull? A notification pinged on his tablet: family meeting in the living room. Now. Dad. X sighed. These gatherings typically meant new screen time rules or lectures about being cautious with online posts. He trudged downstairs, Spot trailing loyally at his heels. In the living room, his sisters Kai and Zia were already perched on the white sofa. Their father, Elon Musk, stood by the expansive window, staring out over Austin's skyline. Today, he seemed different, unfocused on his phone, silent about rockets or electric cars. "What's going on, Dad?" Kai asked, lowering her tablet. Elon turned, a peculiar smile crossing his face. "Pack your bags. We're going on a trip." The children exchanged bewildered glances. Family vacations weren't Elon's style, he was always too busy. "Where to?" X asked eagerly. "Disneyland? Japan? Mars with SpaceX?" He chuckled at his own joke. "Africa," Elon replied simply. Silence filled the room. "Africa?" Zia repeated. "The whole continent." Elon laughed. "Not the whole continent. We'll visit a few countries, South Africa, where I grew up, and others." Images from nature documentaries flashed through X's mind: lions chasing zebras, elephants at waterholes. "Are we going on a safari? Sea lions? Perhaps some wildlife," Elon nodded. "But this isn't a tourist trip. No fancy hotels or resorts." Kai frowned. "Then where are we staying?" "With real people, in real places," Elon said. "You need to see the true Africa." "What does that mean?" X pressed. Elon didn't answer directly. Instead, he stepped closer, sitting on the coffee table facing them. "What do you know about how your phones are made? Or the batteries in our cars?" The kids glanced at each other, puzzled by the shift. "They're made in factories," X offered. "And before that?" Elon pressed. "Where do the materials come from?" Zia, the eldest and sharpest on such matters, spoke up. "From mines, mostly. Metals and minerals from the earth." "Exactly," Elon nodded, pleased. "And many of those mines are in Africa." X didn't see the relevance. "So, we're going to mines." "Sounds boring." "We're going to the people," Elon corrected. "People whose lives are tied to ours in ways you've never imagined." Something felt off about their father today. X couldn't pinpoint it, but he seemed troubled, almost melancholic, unlike his usual self. "When do we leave?" Kai asked. "Tomorrow morning." "Tomorrow," all three exclaimed together. "I've spoken with your mother." "It's arranged," Elon said firmly. "Pack light, practical clothes, no designer labels, nothing extravagant." "How long will we be gone?" Zia inquired. 3 weeks. X couldn't believe it. 3 weeks in Africa, far from his games, friends, and Spot. "Will Spot come with us?" Elon shook his head. No robots, no high-tech gadgets. Just us. As they headed upstairs to pack, X overheard Kai whisper to Zia, "What's wrong with Dad? He hates taking time off work." X wondered the same. At the top of the stairs, he glanced back and saw his father pull something from his pocket, a creased, faded photograph. Elon studied it with such intensity that X felt like an intruder. He ducked out of sight. In his room, X grabbed his suitcase and tossed in a few t-shirts and shorts. His mind buzzed with questions. Why this trip? Why now? Why was his father so serious? That evening, as the house grew quiet, X crept downstairs for a snack. He froze when he heard his father's voice drifting from the office. "I know it's been a long time," Elon spoke softly into the phone. "But I'm keeping my promise now." "A promise? What promise?" X edged closer to the door. "They need to see it with their own eyes," Elon continued. "Especially X. He's at the age to understand." X's heart raced. "Understand what?" "We'll start in Johannesburg, then move to the villages," Elon went on. "Yes, I have all the documents and plans. Everything set." X slipped away, forgetting his snack. What plans? What was he supposed to understand? The next morning passed in a blur. Before X knew it, they were boarding his father's private jet. No social media announcements, no press, unusual for anything his father did. As the plane climbed, X noticed Elon by the window, gazing at that same photograph. It depicted a dusty village with small buildings and what looked like a large pit in the background. For a moment, X thought he saw a much younger version of his father in the image. "Dad?" X called. "Are you okay?" Elon quickly tucked the photo away, forcing a smile that lacked its usual warmth. "I'm fine, X. This trip is more important than you realize." As the plane ascended, X couldn't shake the feeling they weren't just traveling, they were heading toward a truth his father had concealed. The flight to South Africa was lengthy. X had never endured such a long journey, not even to factories in China. He tried watching movies, but his thoughts kept returning to his father's odd behavior. "You're awfully quiet," Elon said, settling beside X after much of the flight had passed. The cabin was dim, Kai and Zia asleep across the aisle. "Just tired," X lied. He wanted to ask about the photo, the phone call, the mysterious promise, but something held him back. "South Africa is where I grew up," Elon said, staring into the darkness outside. "Did you know I left when I was 17? X nodded. He'd read about it online countless times. "But part of me never left." Elon's voice carried a softness, a hint of an accent X had never noticed before. "There are things about my past I've never told you kids." X's heart quickened. "Like what?" But Elon only smiled, ruffling X's hair. "You'll see soon. Try to get some rest. Tomorrow will be challenging." X doubted he'd sleep, but the plane's hum eventually lulled him into dreams filled with dusty villages and hidden secrets. "Wake up, we're landing," Zia shook X's shoulder. He rubbed his eyes and peered out the window. The rising sun cast a golden glow over the landscape below, Johannesburg sprawling beneath them. It wasn't what X expected. He saw skyscrapers, highways, and neighborhoods reminiscent of home. Beyond the city, open land stretched to the horizon. "Looks normal," X said, surprised. "What did you expect? People in huts?" Kai teased, rolling her eyes. X felt his face flush. Maybe he had. The plane touched down at a private airstrip. As they descended the steps, warm African air hit X's face, carrying an earthy, vibrant scent. A woman waited by an old Jeep, not a sleek model, but a rugged, dust-covered vehicle. She was tall, with short curly hair and skin the color of dark honey. She wore work pants and a buttoned shirt with sleeves rolled to her elbows. "Elon Musk," she said, her smile not quite reaching her eyes. It's been a while. Elon stepped forward, taking both her hands. Too long, Tao. Thank you for doing this. I'm not doing it for you, she replied quietly, then turned to the children with a warmer smile. Welcome to South Africa. I'm Tao Kina. I'll be your guide while you're here. X studied her face, wondering how she knew his father and why she seemed almost resentful beneath her politeness. These are my kids, Elon said. Zia, Kai, and X. Tao's eyebrows lifted slightly at X's name, but she made no comment. Come on, we have a long road ahead. Instead of heading to Johannesburg's gleaming buildings, they drove away from the city. Elon sat up front with Tao, the children crammed into the back. Where are we going? X leaned forward to ask. First, we'll see where I grew up, Elon replied. Then we'll begin our real journey. As they drove, Elon pointed out landmarks, sharing stories of his childhood, climbing trees, building his first computer, reading by flashlight when he should have been asleep. Most of these tales were new to X. You've never talked about your childhood this much, Kai noted. Why are people staring? X whispered to Tao when his father stepped away to use the restroom. Your father is a complex figure, Tao said. Some see him as a success story. Others, she paused, shrugging. It's complicated. After lunch, they returned to the jeep and ventured further from the city. The landscape shifted, becoming more open with hills and scattered tree clusters. I thought we'd stay in Johannesburg longer, Zia said. This isn't a tourist trip, Elon reminded them. We're here to witness both the challenges and the magic of Africa, not just the postcard version. X noticed his father frequently checking a small black bag he'd brought from the plane. Once, as Elon zipped it closed, X glimpsed that same creased photograph inside. As evening approached, the roads grew rougher. They passed small towns and villages where children waved at the jeep. X waved back, noting the stark contrast: tiny homes, people with water jugs, no pools or manicured lawns like he knew. We'll spend tonight in a guest house, Tao explained as dusk fell. Tomorrow, we head to the first village. What will we see there? X asked. Reality, Tao answered simply. Later, after settling into a modest but clean guest house, X slipped onto the porch where his father and Tao spoke in hushed tones. Are you sure they're ready for this? Tao asked. Especially the boy. X needs to see it most, Elon replied. He's the only one who might inherit it all someday. And the supplies? They'll arrive on time. It's all arranged, Elon assured her. I've planned this for years. It's time to keep my promise. That word again, promise. X retreated quietly and returned to the room he shared with his sisters. Outside, stars filled the sky, more than X had ever seen. Tomorrow, they'd reach the first village. Whatever it held, X fell asleep wondering what reality his father wanted him to face and what promise was finally being fulfilled after so long. Morning arrived with unfamiliar sounds, crowing roosters and birds X had never heard. He leapt from bed and rushed to the window. The sun rose over hills covered in tall grass swaying in the breeze. This was nothing like waking in Austin. Hurry up, sleepyhead, Kai called, already dressed. Dad says we leave in 30 minutes. After a quick breakfast of fruits X had never tasted, different from home, they piled back into the jeep. Tao drove them deeper into the countryside, where paved roads turned to dirt tracks, jolting the vehicle. Are we still in South Africa? X asked after nearly 2 hours. Yes, Tao nodded. But we're far from the cities. The village we're heading to is called Sibane. What does that mean? Zia asked. In Zulu, it means light, Tao explained. Though the names become somewhat ironic over time. Elon shifted in his seat but said nothing. Soon, X spotted small houses in the distance. As they neared, he saw they weren't built of brick or wood like at home. Many had walls of adobe and roofs of metal sheets or dried grass. Children played with a football made from tied plastic bags. They stopped to watch the jeep approach. Tao parked in what seemed the village center, a rough circle of about 30 houses around an open space with a large tree. People emerged to see who'd arrived. "Stay close," Elon told his children as they stepped out. "And remember what I said. Be respectful. We're guests here." An elderly man with gray hair and a staff approached. He and Tao spoke in a language X didn't understand. Then the man turned to Elon with a grave expression. "Mask," he said, his voice deep. "You've finally returned." Elon stepped forward, bowing slightly. "Elder Cozy, thank you for letting us visit." Elder Cozy studied Elon's face for a long moment. Then looked at the children. "These are yours?" "Yes." "Zia, Kai, and X," Elon said, resting a hand on X's shoulder. The elder nodded slowly. "They have much to learn. And you have much to show them." He turned to the gathered villagers, speaking their language. Whatever he said, they broke into smiles and nods. "He welcomes you to Sibane," Tao translated. "They're preparing food to celebrate your arrival." X was stunned by the reception. Why would a remote village rejoice at his father's presence? They weren't SpaceX fans or Tesla drivers. From the crowd, a boy about X's age stepped forward. He wore shorts and a faded t-shirt with an unrecognizable logo, his bare feet dusty. "This is Zola," Elder Cozy said in accented English. "He'll show the children the village while we talk." Zola smiled, revealing a gap-toothed grin. "Come on. Learn all you can." Zola led them through the village, pointing out homes and introducing people weaving baskets, cooking over open fires, or washing clothes in buckets. "Where's your school?" Zia asked. "There," Zola pointed to a larger building, still small. "But the teacher comes only 3 days a week, traveling to other villages." "Where do you get water?" Kai asked, noticing women with plastic containers on their heads. "From a well," Zola replied. "It's far, takes long to go and return." X stayed quiet, absorbing it all. "What about electricity?" he finally asked, noting the absence of power lines. Zola's smile faded. "No electricity. Some houses have car batteries for small things. Most use candles or paraffin lamps." "How do you charge your phone?" X asked. Zola laughed. "I don't have a phone. Elder Cozy has one for the whole village. When the battery dies, someone takes it to town to charge." X couldn't fathom life without power, no video games, no TV, no lights at night, no fridge for cold drinks, no AC in the heat. As they walked, X noticed something odd: small solar panels leaned against walls or lay on the ground, unconnected. "What about those?" X pointed. "Solar panels." Zola's face brightened, then dimmed. "Yes, a company brought them 2 years ago. Big ceremony, lots of promises. But they don't work. No one knows how to fix them. No one comes back to help." They continued their tour, stopping at Zola's house where his mother offered water in metal cups. X drank carefully, recalling Tao's warning about contaminated water. "Want to see my room?" Zola asked. He led them behind a curtain to a space barely big enough for a sleeping mat on the floor. A shelf made from a wooden plank held a few books, a carved wooden animal, and a toy car missing a wheel. "Is this all your stuff?" X blurted before he could stop himself. Zola looked confused. "Yes. What else do I need?" X thought of his room at home, larger than Zola's whole house, filled with robots, games, toys, and clothes. He felt a sudden queasiness. Later, they joined the adults for dinner under the big tree. The food was simple but tasty, a thick porridge with vegetables and a bit of meat. X noticed his father ate everything offered without complaint, despite his usual dietary preferences. As evening fell, X watched the village transform. Without electricity, people gathered in groups, talking and singing. Children played games X had never seen. But as darkness deepened, most activities ceased. Families retreated to their homes, where the glow of candles or oil lamps cast faint circles of light through windows. X and his siblings sat with their father and Tao near the guest house. "Do you understand now why I brought you here?" Elon asked quietly. "They have no electricity," Kai said, "or running water." "They have nothing," Zia added. "That's not true," Elon corrected. "They have community. They have skills we lack. They make things last. But yes, they lack basic services many take for granted." X watched a young girl in a nearby house struggling to read by candlelight, shifting her book to catch the glow. Elon followed his gaze. X was shocked to see tears in his father's eyes. "That was me once," Elon whispered, so softly X almost missed it. "Not here. But not so different." Before X could ask what he meant, Elder Cozy and Tao approached. They spoke quietly with Elon, Tao translating parts. X heard his father mention tomorrow, along with trucks and team. After they left, X saw Elon step aside to make a call despite the poor signal. "Everything on schedule for tomorrow?" X overheard. "Good. This is worse than I thought. We need to move faster." X pretended to stargaze as his father returned, but his mind raced with questions. What was tomorrow? What did his dad mean by, "worse than I thought"? And what did he mean about being like that girl reading by candlelight? As they prepared to sleep in the simple guest house, X felt something shift inside him. The world suddenly seemed vast and complex beyond his imagination. X woke before dawn to the rumble of engines. He leapt from bed and reached the window just in time to see 3 large white trucks with a small blue logo roll into the village center. X didn't recognize it, neither Tesla nor SpaceX, nor any of his father's companies. By the time X dressed and stepped outside, the whole village had gathered around the trucks. Men in work clothes unloaded big boxes. One truck driver approached. "Mr. Musk, we're ready to start." Elon nodded. "We'll begin with the main line to the school and clinic, then branch to the houses. Can I help?" X asked eagerly. Elon looked surprised, then pleased. "Of course. Everyone can help. That's why we're here." Soon, the Musk family worked alongside villagers and the truck team. Elon divided them into groups. Zia and Kai joined women cleaning old solar panels that could be salvaged. X stayed with his father, assisting with installing new batteries in a small building constructed for the purpose. "These aren't ordinary batteries," Elon explained as they worked. "New design, easier to maintain, longer lasting. They can store enough energy to sustain the village even on cloudy days." X was impressed, watching his father work with his hands, digging, connecting wires, explaining systems to villagers who'd maintain them. This wasn't the father giving interviews or posting videos. This was a different Elon Musk, focused, patient, unbothered by dirt. Around noon, X spotted Zola watching from a distance. He waved. "Want to help?" Zola hesitated. "I don't know how. I only learned this morning," X said. "My dad can show us both." Soon, Zola and X worked together, carrying tools and mounting solar panels on built stands. As they worked, Zola asked about X's life in America. X felt shy describing his huge house, games. "This concludes our narrative journey. I trust you found this gripping saga of intrigue, cutting-edge innovation, and astonishing discoveries captivating. From where are you tuning in today? I'm curious to learn which corner of the globe this tale has touched. If this escapade held your interest, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for a steady stream of compelling, mind-expanding stories just like this one. Fresh material is posted frequently, ensuring you're always in the loop for the newest spellbinding adventures. Be sure to pass this video along to your loved ones and friends. It's a great way to share positivity and insight while expanding our circle of story enthusiasts. Your encouragement is invaluable. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to welcoming you back for the next tale.